Well, let me say to each and every one of you that this is the day the Lord has made. Let's do something. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. God has blessed us again to be in the land of the dying on our way to the land of the living. He is such a good and awesome and powerful God that we can't do anything else but tell him thank you. And so we just wanted to come on a Monday and to share with you on today in our midweek, no, excuse me, our snapshot moment. And I got ahead of myself. And so we are grateful to God for you, one and all, for being here with us today. Jaleesa, Minister Sarah, Ayana, Casper, Lisa, Coleman, thank you so much for being here. And we bless the Lord for your sacrifice in sharing with us as we continue to grow in the knowledge of the Lord. Tamika, Wendy, Denise, Debbie, bless y'all for being here. We are again. I mean, this is. Did you know that it is going to be close to 80 degrees today? Matter of fact, rest of the week is supposed. Isn't that amazing? Our God is so awesome. Debbie, Doris, Cecile. I mean, it. I guess this is Indian summer, but I'm gonna take it. Y'all didn't hear. Y'all didn't hear what I said. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna keep believing. I'm gonna keep trusting. I'm going to keep depending on Him because can't nobody do you like Jesus? Can't nobody. Did the Lord bless us, Barbara? Did the Lord bless us outside Sunday? My God, my God, my God, my God, my God. I was trying to let it go, but it wouldn't let go of me. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm just like, my God is such an awesome God. Cora, thank you so much for being here. He just moved. Woo! But well, you may be 90 today, but we're gonna be 80, Cecile. Now. I had to say that, okay? Carletta. And so it was just it's good to be able to express even outside of the sanctuary his goodness, his grace, his kindness. Just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing what God will do, because that tells us that you don't have to have a building to lift your hands. You don't have to have a building to open your mouth and to bless him and to dance and to run and to tell God thank you for all of the great things that not only has he done, but he is doing and he shall do. Sherry, how are you? Okay, Sylvia Scott, bless you for being here. And so we are again grateful. Yeah, I saw him on the bike. I saw him as he stopped and worshiped with us and blessed his name. It was just absolutely amazing what God will do. Kathy, okay, Thea, bless you. Um, and so we're just thankful. We're just thankful. We want to get this reminder in here to you so that you will remember that midweek will be on Tuesday this week, not Wednesday. So we need you to spread the word. We need you to let everybody know that it's going to be on a different day. I'm going to create something. Hey, James, how are you? Thank you so much for letting us know that all is well. And powerful media ministry. We're just grateful to God for that. And so we are going to do it on Tuesday. Okay. The reason being is I'm going to be at an event at the Ohio Baptist General Convention in Mansfield on Wednesday. LaVonda Michelle, dear, how are you? And so I need to be there to continue the coalition that we are developing between the conventions. We're not merging, but we are learning to work together. No, ma'am, not today. Not today. Tuesday. Tuesday. Today at 2 o'clock. Hey, Linda, how are you? Low Brady, bless you, dear. Today is a event that I'm doing virtually. And then today at 6:30 at New Bethel is Community Mobilization's political forum. I'm going to that as well to show support. Well, let me get started. I need to hmm. Hey, Billy, how you doing? Good to see you and the missus. I'm so grateful to God. Okay, so grateful to God. Listen, has greed taken over this nation? Has greed taken over this world? Could it be, could it be that the reason we are no longer concerned, Gail, about the well-being of others, and when I say that, I'm not necessarily talking about, hey, Gina, I'm not necessarily talking about, Wendy, you. But what I'm talking about is society as a whole has the obsession with me, myself, and I become the norm, which then moves us away. Hey, Rhonda, bless you, dear, for being here, from being concerned about anybody else. And I know I'm dating myself. I know that I am. But I remember the days of brokenness where the neighborhoods were broke. And what do I mean by that? We didn't have a huge sum of extra cash. We had enough to pay bills. We had enough to take care of children. We had enough to provide a place to live, food to eat, clothes to wear. May not have liked the clothes, but guess what? It was still clothes to wear. Everything we had was clean. This was back during the day before fast food restaurants. If you remember, I remember the days when nothing was open on Sunday. Not a store, not a gas station, not a nothing. Okay. Hey, Nancy, everything was shut down on Sunday because that was the Lord's day. But everything that we did do was done on Saturday in preparation for Sunday, and Sunday was the warm-up day. You know, everything got warmed up, nothing got cooked. And in the midst of all, I remember because we lived in church. We lived in church. And so because there would be morning, afternoon, evening services, we would bring those picnic baskets and we would sit back on a regular basis and share one with the other. All of that's gone now. If there was someone in the neighborhood who was in need, because you got to remember, no matter how poor we were, we still had pride. Oh my God. Yeah, no matter how poor we were, we still had pride. And when we found out that someone was in need of something, we didn't have a whole lot, but we had enough to share with some. I'll tell you a story. This actually happened. I don't know what we had contracted. I don't know what we had come down with. Elder James, thank you for being here. I don't know what we came down with, but we were isolated in our house around Christmas. And I'll never forget it as long as I live. We couldn't go to the grocery store. My dad couldn't go to work. I don't know what it was. I don't know what we had, but we couldn't do it. We couldn't go anywhere. Pamela, how you doing, dear? We couldn't do it. And so we had some food, but it wasn't a lot. And it was Christmas. And I will never forget the day that we heard a knock on the side door. And then my dad went to the side door. Nobody was there. But he looked down and there were bags of food sitting there because someone cared about the preacher that was in the neighborhood. But it wasn't just the fact that he was the preacher. It was the fact that he was the neighbor. And he picked up those bags of groceries because we were not allowed out of the house, and told the Lord, thank you, because people were, and nobody came up and said who they were. Whoever they were, they had to have sent the kids to do it because the kids obviously ran so that we wouldn't see who they were. Just wanted to be a blessing. You can't be a blessing to anybody when the only person you think about is yourself. I need to let that marinate for just a moment. And Nancy, we also had people in the neighborhood that fed everybody, and thank God for them, because many of these, one family, I'm not going to mention their name, they had a ton of kids. And the father was the only one working. The mother was a stay-at-home, like many mothers were back in that day. Many of our mothers stayed home to take care of the kids, to raise the kids, to nurture the children while dad went to work. And whatever dad made, and you got to remember, back during that time, we didn't have OSHA, we didn't have unions, we didn't have none of that. So whatever that is, they decided to pay them is what they did. And most of these men did not have high school diplomas. They had no education. They were grunt workers, and whatever they felt like paying them, that's what they had. And they had to make ends meet, but we made sure that not one child went hungry. We're in the midst of a time where, and I'm not against CEOs getting paid. I am not against that. I'm against when CEOs are the only ones getting paid. I'm against corporate greed that is to the point that only the people at the top receive and the real workers don't get anything. I got a problem with that. I'm not necessarily talking about that as a union situation. Hey, Daryl, how are you? I'm talking about a situation whereby if the Lord has blessed you to be the head of a major corporation, you need to think about the people who made you the head, who make you look good, who make the product that sells so that you can be where you are. Greed. Greed, Minister Faye, has consumed this nation. Greed has consumed this world to the point that we are no longer our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. We ain't nobody's keeper because we too busy trying to keep everything to ourselves. Luke chapter 12 says something about that. Hey, Doe, how are you? It says something about that. Luke chapter 12 says something about that. Luke chapter 12, starting at verse 13. And one in the crowd said to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." Now, you have to understand what that's all about. I agree. And the funny thing about it is, Carletta, now, so you getting ready to make me do a sidebar. The funny thing about it is, while the government shutdown was looming, the question was asked, well, what about the people who are working with you? Oh, those are essential workers, so they'll still get paid. That's all I'm going to say. I'm trying not to become angry. Be angry, but sin not. So I'm trying not to sin. But he said to him, man, who made me a judge or an arbitrator over you? He said to them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of things he possesses. This is important. This is important, okay? I need us to catch this, because we can become so overwhelmed with competing that we forget to be kind and concerned. Now, somebody may not even agree with that, but I know among us, competition is fierce. The one thing, hey Sonia, how are you? The one thing that I have learned to do is to not be envious of what you have, because I don't have the payment that's connected to it. Ooh, I know that was deep right there, because see, while I'm busy being envious of what you drive or where you live or what you wear, I don't have to pay that credit card bill. I don't have to pay that car note. I don't have to pay the insurance. I don't have to pay that house note. So there's no need in me becoming envious over you because you can appear to have more than me. I don't know the debt that's attached to it for you to look like you look, because I'm all right the way I am. Life is so much more than stuff and things. And I'm going to say something, and I know it's going to sting a little bit. Hey, Misty, how are you? But if greed is not a part of our makeup or culture, why do we still have so much stuff that we will never wear or use and not make it available to be a blessing to somebody else? If we're not, I have in my SUV right now some clothes for Dress for Success. Now, somebody might say, well, you can give it to the Goodwill or the Salvation Army. No, I want to give. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. Lord Jesus, help me not to get in trouble. I want to give these clothes to a Black organization that will help Black people. I'm not against white organizations. Okay. I'm not against it. I'm not against white people. But what I need to understand is these other organizations will sell the product, where Dress for Success will give it away. And they're going to help some people who need help. These are people who, and I know that was a shameless plug for Dress for Success, but the point is, you got to look at this, okay? Because we have so much congestion in our closets. I remember when we didn't have much of nothing in there. We might have had 2 suits, some blue jeans, a couple of pair of blue jeans, some shirts. And you could walk in that closet and walk all through that closet because there wasn't a whole lot. Now you can't even move clothes because there's so much stuff there. And if I am my brother's keeper, if I am concerned, if greed has not grasped me, then I ought to recognize that there's some stuff I ain't gonna never wear again. Matter of fact, some stuff I don't want to wear again. Some stuff I can't wear again. I need to be a blessing to somebody else. I never will forget, we were in the session of the district at Greater Friendship, and the minister, Linda Hall's grandson, was looking at my Invecta watch. I loved that watch. Listen to what I'm saying. I loved that watch. It was one of the best watches I ever had. And he kept looking at it, and I caught him looking at it, and he was trying to look away. So I walked over to him. I said, do you like this? He said, I sure do. I said, do you want? He said, no. And I took the watch off and I gave it to him. Here's the thing that we do that tells us that we're greedy. We don't have a problem giving away stuff we don't want. But if we're not greedy, we ought to be able to give away stuff we don't want to give away. I gave that young man, you remember that, Minister Sarah? I gave that young man that watch. I talked to his grandmother a few months ago. She said he still has that watch and he will never forget the pastor that was kind enough to give him a watch like that. I've been in places where different people have liked my tie, and and guess what I do? I'll take it off and give it to them because I can get another one. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Life does not consist in the abundance of things. And we can become so consumed with stuff that we forget to be concerned about other people. Listen, I'm going to deal with this a little bit more when we come together. If you come together with me on tomorrow at 12 noon, I just want to talk about this stuff, because if we as a people would do for each other as we see other cultures do, we wouldn't be in the condition that we are in. And so greed. Now, don't you go out of here talking about, Pastor said I got to get rid of all of the stuff in my closet. That's not what I said. What I said is that we can't talk about the greed of other people until we get rid of the greed in us. Don't forget what I said about midweek. It will be Tuesday at 6:30, not Wednesday. I want to make sure that you know that you're aware of that. I also want to let you know that this is the time that you can get those free COVID tests. Go on and get online, covid.gov. Let's get this done. COVID is running rampant and wild. And so we need to make sure that we do that. And then if the Lord so leads, you can sow a seed. I try not to do that. That's so hard for me to do. But all I'm saying is let's think about, and again, listen to what I'm saying. You don't have to have a lot of money, but I bet you got a lot of clothes. With that being said, I'm out of here. Love you with the love of Jesus Christ. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow at 12 o'clock. May God bless you. May he keep you, is our prayer.